Welcome to Paris for a real festival of gymnastics. Not only have the French managed to attract some of the top gymnasts in the world for one of the year's most prestigious invitation internationals, but they've also persuaded them to take part in a new kind of team event, a mixed pairs competition. More of that later, but first, the individual championships. Daniela Silivas of Romania, the Olympic silver medalist, heads the women's entry. She opened with a 9.85 on floor, and her second piece of apparatus is the vault.
And Yurchenko with a full twist. Silivas has already seen Olympic gold medalist Boginskaya score 9.9 on vault, so she really has a fight on her hands. The Arab Spring coming into the Reuter board, and the 1.5 somersault with the full twist. That was an extremely good vault other than the landing. Tremendous momentum needed to be able to propel their bodies and rotate and twist from the horse. And there's the score, 9.9. She's equaled Boginskaya on the vault.
And Boginskaya added a 9.8 on bars and a 9.875 on beam. It now all depends on this floor exercise.
Nice piked full in, back out. That's 2 somersaults and a twist in the first, exiting piked in the second. Boginskaya, bronze medalist in Seoul in the all-around event. One of the few gymnasts who remains slim and lissome. Many of the gymnasts have a weight problem, and this can only be to her advantage. Quite a unique floor routine. The dance, extremely dramatic. And the tumbles equally as difficult. Full in, back out there to finish. Superb work from Svetlana Boginskaya. Since Seoul, she really has accumulated much more difficulty into her routine. A good score, 9.8 for her.
So Silivas comes to beam knowing that she needs 9.8 or better to take gold.
And this is a tremendous battle between Daniela Silivas and Svetlana Boginskaya, who are the favourites for the forthcoming European Championships. And it's on this piece of apparatus that Silivas shines. Only the slightest wobbles, but she manages to disguise them. Tremendous natural balance. The routine lasts a minimum of 1 minute and 15 seconds, but that was really tremendous. She needs an excellent score to overhaul Boginskaya and take the all-around gold. And there, a bird's eye view of that beam, only 4 inches wide. And they use it almost like the line on a motorway. That's the tumbling series, double flick, straight back. And she's done enough, 9.88. Silivas takes the all-around gold.
Vault, but it was the Chinese #1, Chen Cuiting, who stole the show.
Chen Cuiting has promised to take a big international title since she first appeared in the World Championships in Rotterdam in '87. Generally, the Chinese have lots of elegance, but they really are without the strength of the tumbles. But little Chen Cuiting, very, very powerful girl. Just look at this tumbling. Tight-legged and an easy double back. Cuiting, 17 years old and only 4 feet 11 tall, and she can really master every inch of it. Brilliant routine there from China's Chen Cuiting. And there's the score, 9.95, and the individual gold medal on floor. It's brilliant tumbling, feet close clasped together, close hands, and really developing so much speed across the floor to catapult that somersault in the air.
And in the men, the quarterfinals. Monica, I don't think I've ever seen a competition like this before.
No, it's run under totally unusual rulings.
Here, the Russian team, they must be favourites. Silivas Boginskaya, she's chosen to go on asymmetric bars, and she's paired with Valentin Mogilny, so 2 world champions, quite a powerful team.
Yes, I would think that they're pretty invincible. This brilliant high and low bar routine. Boginskaya just demonstrating everything that is required within the routine, and a new dismount. That's a full twisting double back there, John.
Yes, this is a very interesting competition, because here we are just a couple of weeks before the European Championships. Everybody working up. 1989, a big year for gymnastics with Europeans and World Championships. Boginskaya now the Russian #1 with the retirement of Elena Shushanova.
Total 19.675.
Karine Mermet from France. The uneven bars, the asymmetric bars.
She too is going extremely well. Full twisting giant, double back dismount. The middle of the routine was equally as good as Boginskaya, but the difficulty was lost on the dismount. A good score, 9.675 for France's Mermet. But a long double back. Christina Bontas from Romania. Her partner is Stefan Marian Stoichan. And they are the #2 strings for the Romanians. But that was a brilliant vault. It didn't half lift from the top. Pity about the bounce back on the landing. This is her second vault, so the score that we'll see will be the average. A propulsion from the top of the apparatus. She almost had time for another twist.
Christina Bontas, the new star in Romanian gymnastics. She'll be competing in the European Championships, just 15 years old. Third in the Junior Europeans. And Chen Cuiting from China. Cuiting won the floor with that beautiful exercise, as we saw in the individual finals. And Wang Chongsheng won 2 pieces of apparatus as well, including the parallel bars, which is the piece he's going on in this round.
Cuiting going well. She did make an error, but it was so well disguised it may have gone unnoticed, but that was a definite error. Full twisting, double back dismount and a hefty jump back. Be interesting to see what her score is. They need to be in the high 9s.
Double twister there and 2 back somersaults, but she really didn't land it at all. 9.625, and nearly all of that lost on the landing. 1 twist, 2 twists, but it's a very difficult dismount, and 3 steps back. She could have lost certainly 2/10.
And now it's France versus Hungary. This Beata Storcher. And that a very, very nice side somersault with a quarter twist.
Lovely vault. Good to see the girls trying something different from the Yurchenkos. Quarter twist on, side somersault, and then finishes off the twist to land facing forwards. Karine Boucher. She's selected the asymmetric bars for this round of the competition. Only finished 14th in the overall individual. Scored 9.55 on this piece. It was her best piece of apparatus. Nice catch of.
She certainly has some good tricks, but lacking in body tension and the bend of the arms in every movement, of course, deductible. Hence the 9.55 she would have scored in the all-around event. But better routine, obviously, from her, 9.675, so that's a good start for the French pair.
Anne-Marie Bauduin from France.
The top French pair. She's elected floor. Anne-Marie, a particularly expressive floor worker. Double somersault there with the first shape and pike the second. And unfortunately for her, a mistake. That was meant to be a punch front out of the full twisting back somersault, and she missed it, and it was obvious.
Anne-Marie Bauduin obviously taking things absolutely as they come, using up her pieces in the best order at the moment that she achieved in the individual competition. Her best piece was the beam, on which she scored 9.75. She used that in the first round. Now she's gone to floor, her second best score in the individual. She scored 9.55 there in the second round of this competition.
But really, John, she can't afford an error, because They're partnered against the almighty Daniela Silivas and Maria Skirman from Romania. And 9, well, they're certainly going to need every 10th. Daniela Silivas to beam.
Won the all-round event and took gold on this piece of apparatus in the individual final. Look at that free walkover. She landed without a tremor at all. Again, rock solid. Difficult combination.
Silivas a lot heavier than she was in Seoul, and yet coping extremely well. She doesn't look to have lost any of her form. But often in gymnastics, the loss of stamina is the greatest thing, and that would show on floor, not on beam. Beam is very much a mental task, mind over matter.
Certainly true that Daniela Silivas is nothing like the little waif who we saw really rise to world fame in the World Championships in Montreal in 1985.
Oh, and a magnificent routine, ruined by the dismount. Lost 5/10 for putting her hands down on the double back exit. She really can't afford to do things like that so close to the European Championships.
And that really has put the cat amongst the pigeons. 9.4. And now everything depending on Maria's two French pairs, but they're really up against it because Chen Cuiting and Wang Chongsheng did very well in the individual finals, and Silivas Boginskaya and Valentin McGillney from the USSR, both individual apparatus world champions. Anne-Marie Bauduin from France, and she really does need a good second vault. The first one a disaster.
Not very difficult by today's standards, but certainly excellently performed. A Sukahara in a straight position. She showed a nice straight line. Didn't quite harness the landing because she had too much rotation, but only 9.1 an average.
The Chinese pair.
Chen Cuiting choosing beam for this round. She came 5th in the all-around event, but scored really well on beam there, putting in a 9.7 performance, so this should be a safe piece for her. Head spring mount.
Yes, she's got a new combination in this beam exercise. Very, very difficult, but she's got to land it.
Beautiful elevation on her jumps and her tumbles.
Here's the critical part.
Flick-flack, tuck back to Corbett landing. That was a very, very difficult movement because it's almost a tuck back somersault coming down to the handstand into chest roll, but she was slightly off center, and so she loses 5/10 for her fall.
Well, she finished well, but some hope for the French there. They must have thought that they were out of it, but she's opened the door for them. 9.2 her score. That superb move.
Nice to see the Chinese women innovating.
For them, they're through.
Karine Boucher to floor.
Boucher and Carmona have really got a task on their hands. They're up against Boginskaya and McGillney, the Russians. Full in back out opener though on her floor routine. Landed well, she's really going for it.
The French crowd really rooting for the French teams, putting a tremendous amount of atmosphere into this very special competition. Karine, an experienced gymnast, a member of the French team in the Seoul Olympics, and competed in the European Championships in Moscow in '87.
Came to grief on floor in the individual all-round competition. Scored 9.15 only. She'll need better than that here.
The testing time is yet to come. This is the final tumble, and this is where it could all go wrong. Double back. She made it quite safely. And a good exercise from France's Karine Boucher. No big errors this time. And there's the score, 9.75.
Well, a very high mark again. Lovely exercise. I'm not sure about 9.7. You think of the Russian scores, the lowest score for Svetlana Boginskaya in the all-around was a 9.8. And the lowest score for Mogilny, a 9.4.
Front somersault mount from Svetlana Boginskaya. Tremendous pressure piece of apparatus beam, especially when you're expected to win. Flick straight, flick flat, but quite a hefty wobble, at least a 2/10 deduction.
I think she'll have taken a little psychological up out of the fact that Daniela Silivas came to grief on her dismount from the beam, getting very close to the European Championships. There's no question that Boginskaya and Silivas are looked upon as the two favourites, and they'll be watching each other with great interest to see just whether they are both in absolute peak form.
Yes, John, this will certainly be a mental confrontation. He who can, or she who can stay on beam will feel the best after the day. But Boginskaya wasn't very high on her leaps at the beginning of the routine. Oops, and she's off too. Well, Silivas and Boginskaya 1-all.
-1-all. Won't be very happy with that. That's almost worse than coming to grief on the landing, because I don't fancy Silivas will come to grief on the landing again, but Boginskaya looked very unsteady coming out of those tumbles. Finishes off with the double tuck back.
And only 9.275 for Svetlana Boginskaya's beam.
Unique event, and it's France versus China. Karine Boucher and Claude Carmona are of France, and Chen Cuiting and Wang Chongsheng from China. Karine Boucher, first to go, and the only piece of apparatus she has left is the beam. Very difficult front somersault dismount, safely landing.
Gainer back, favouring back tumbling at the moment, but she did have a front somersault to begin with. The judge is looking for variety of skill and variety of travel.
Quite a moment this for Karine Boucher. She finished third of the 3 French girls in the individual competition, right down in 14th place. But she's been superb in this doubles competition. Nice front somersault there. That's the difficult one, because you can't see where you're landing.
And she really is doing brilliantly. She's under tremendous pressure. Landed every skill so far, just a hint of a wobble from the first combination tumble.
The fact that she's left beam till last means it's certainly not her favourite piece. And it is, I think, many of the women gymnasts find the most difficult piece. But so far, so good. The dismount now.
And that was classy. That was really brilliant. She had a front mount, a front in the middle, back tumbling, and then a double back dismount, just a step back on the landing.
Once she got this far, she was never going to let it go wrong, and 9.7. Claude Carmona certainly can't blink what they have to do. They come onto the podium together, but it'll be Chen Cuiting to go first. 19.325 to beat between them. And Chen has the advantage of going, she's saved her best piece till last. She's got the floor to come, and she's the individual gold medalist on this. Scored 9.95 in the individual final.
And that really is brilliant tumbling. Dynamic, fast, and so tidy.
Nice to see the Chinese gambling moniker. They obviously came to win, saving this piece till last. Really was a gamble.
Yes, and it's come off because Cuiting really has risen to the day. She's taken on all of the challenges under tremendous pressure. Put in a new move on beam. All right, she fell off, but she's really let the world see that she's around. Excellent musical interpretation and exquisite tumbling.
Well, she got 9.95 in the individual final, and that was full of sparkle. Can she repeat it? Well, she's done better. It's a 10 for Chen Cuiting. What a start and what a time to produce that sort of performance. The Chinese pair take the gold, the French pair the silver, the Russians beating the other French pair in the third-fourth playoff, taking the bronze. Well, we'll see the Chinese pair again in the World Championships in the autumn. But no doubt who is the star of this show, little Chen Cuiting from China. And there'll be more gymnastics here on Eurosport. This weekend, we'll be showing the Women's European Championships from Brussels. The first transmission, Sunday, 2100 hours UK time, 2200 European time. For the moment, though, goodbye from the Palais Omnisport.